Today we're going to take a quick look at the YESWELDER FIRSTESS MP200 multifunction welder and plasma cutter. The YESWELDER MP200 is an all-in-one welding and plasma cutting machine. It's easy to set up and easy to use. If you can use a cell phone or a tablet, you can easily operate this welder. We're at the home screen right now, and we can select from MIG, stick, settings, plasma cutting, lift TIG, flux core, or back to MIG. We'll select MIG, and we have some choices to make. Now, as you make these choices, you'll see that it lights up the gas, wire, trigger, thickness of the metal. We'll go back to the type of gas and select from these. We're using 75-25, make that selection. Steel, are you using steel or stainless? 30 or 35, we're using 30, select that. Type of trigger, you have 2T or 4T, that means squeeze the trigger and weld, let off for 2T, and turn it on, weld, click it off for 4T. We'll go to the thickness of the metal, and you have 18 gauge to 1/2 for 110 or thicker for 220. This easily welds sheet metal, automotive sheet metal on 14 or 12 gauge, so no worries about it only going to 18 gauge. So we're going to set it for 12. You can set burn back. If your wire's burning back into the tip, you can set that. And finally, we'll go over to memory, and we'll set this at the number 4 spot in the memory. To change to a different welding process, simply hit the home button and make your selection. We'll choose stick, and again we have some choices to make. Type of welding rod, the size, and last we'll store these settings in the memory, and we'll choose 3, and when that light turns off, it's set. The last two options are lift TIG and flux core. We'll go to lift TIG, and we can adjust the amperage. We don't have any selections up top, so we'll go home, we'll go to flux core, and we'll choose the wire size. 30 or 35, we'll pick 30, and again it lights up over here. Move over to 4T or 2T type of trigger, we'll pick 2T. The thickness, pick 12 gauge. Burn back, set that at 3, and then we'll set the memory at number 1. After the memory is set, you can choose from those presets like the radio in your car. So 1 could be sheet metal, 2 could be frames, and so on. After setup and selecting a welding process, we'll go ahead and give it a try. We'll be butt and lap welding 20 gauge sheet metal on the MIG setting. One thing to keep in mind is that with any welder, you're going to have to play around with the settings to find what works best for you. After cleaning the welds up with the wire wheel, this is the result. And here's a quick shot of the back side of that lap weld. And now we'll be butt welding, and there's nothing underneath to absorb any heat. Here's a quick shot of that butt weld after wire brushing it. And now a shot of the backside. Cutting with this machine is just as easy. Set the air pressure and amps according to your needs, the pre-flow and post-flow, the trigger type, and you're ready to go. We'll set the amps to 20 according to the chart that was just shown. The pre-flow, the post-flow, and the trigger type, and we'll be cutting 20 gauge sheet metal. The back of the welder has 2 efficient cooling fans and a combination pressure regulator water separator for the plasma cutting, and uses compressed air for the cutting gas. From the side you can change the type of wire you're using. It accepts large rolls or small rolls, and it's very easy to do. Finally, the front includes all the ports needed to switch between the 4 different welding processes and plasma cutting. If you're in a small shop, it's nice to have one machine that does it all, does it well, and is a pleasure to use. This welder is made of quality materials. It's light, small, simple, and comes with everything you need for multiple welding processes and plasma cutting. I hope you enjoyed this video on the YESWELDER MP200 5-in-1 welder and plasma cutter. If you did, and you'd like to get my latest videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.